Hello and welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCTcentre, and joining me again is Morganne Rayne, Adept visionary, spiritual guide, ceremonialist, and artist. Hello, Morgan.
Good morning from the Pacific Northwest.
Good evening from England. Uh, okay, Morgan, how you been? It's our first this type of New Year's getting
Yeah,
together, two of us only. How you
yeah.
been? How was your time?
Um, uh, my um, my holidays. I don't. Holidays are different for me anymore. But everything's a spiritual practice. But family was definitely a big part of my holiday this year. I had the pleasure and the honor of having my 4-year-old granddaughter for quite a few days. And we just love that. She's a high creative. And at 4 years old, I can barely keep up. I'm a high creative, but keeping up with a 4-year-old is interesting. And to keep up with that 4-year-old energy, but it revives me. It's like it primes my artistic and creative pump every time I'm with her. So I do love having that opportunity. Yesterday, I just say this. I have a 9-year-old grandson. He lives in Seattle. I don't see him too much, but he was here with me for Christmas Eve with my family, and he called me up. He's got a watch phone, and my number's programmed on the watch phone, so I'll get random phone calls from him. Yesterday he called me after school. He said, "Grandmama," he goes, I got this new book, but I think you would love it." I go, "Really?" I said, "Well, tell me about it." So he goes, "Better, how about I read to you?" And he began to read to me this book, but he would go into the legend, into the maps, and tell me, and he was building this beautiful picture in my mind with his words and his enthusiasm and his passion for what he was into at that time, and his incredible desire to share that with me. And that connection that we had was uh, just magnificent. And I hope for everyone that they can have those kinds of connections with our beautiful star children that are here. They're awake, they're alive, um, they know. And so anyway, I'm kind of riding high on that experience too from him, of sharing his heart, but it was something he knew I would love. And that shows me that he knows who I am. And so we're gonna talk about that today, about being so in tune with who you are, that that's how you show up in your world. And the people that are in your world, they know who you are, because you are projecting out into the world your authenticness, what you love, what you're passionate about. Um, and so when you come from that clarity of knowing who you are, and you're in your world with that, then your experiences can be more like what I'm having, that kind of connection, that depth, because of who I am. My 9-year-old grandson went, "My grandmama would love this," and that desire to share it. And so those, to me, those are magical moments, because they're moments that when people are reflecting back to you who you are, it makes you feel more authentic, more rich, more connected. So so those are just a couple of little stories about when you come from your authentic self and you show up in your world as that, the world can respond to you. On the other hand, if you kind of know who you are, but you go into the world and you conform to the world and what you think they want you to be. I want to go back and repeat that because this is really important. If you do not explore your authenticity and move into the world like that, what we end up doing is we explore our inauthenticity and we move into the world and conform to how we think the world wants us to be. That sucks because it's not who you are. You're just trying to fit in. You're trying to be something you are not. And I think every human has tried that on. I think back to younger days, really younger days. And, you try to be more grown up when you really are just a child. You try to be, there are many things you can try on to be, but they're not really you, and they're not really you. So the deal here is why are we here, and who am I? Those are like the biggest questions that humans ask. Who am I? Why am I here? And so when I'm working with people, that seems to be the when you get down to it, these are the questions they ask. So how do you discover who you are? Well, you can look at what you're not, is a good way to have a reflection back to yourself. It's okay to go, well, I'm not that. I'm not whatever the world wants you to be at that time. So you go within. You don't look for that validation outside yourself, because you're going to get a lot of validation for what you are not. But go within and begin to cultivate your authentic environment. So what is your authentic environment? What is authentic? What does that word even mean? And authentic to me is that undisputed origin of self, the undisputed origin of self. That's our God self, our Christed self, our awakened self, our magnificent self. But if we begin to look for ourselves out in the world, we're going to come up with not that. We're going to come up with brokenness and fear and anger and all those lower frequencies that we've gone over before in our talks, of shame and blame, and all that stuff happens in the outside, the outer of you, unless you decide to bring it into you and foster it and feed it. And you can see that by so many people being depressed or afraid or anxious or all of those things. All they're doing is taking their feedback from the world and internalizing it. Wrong use of energy. For when you tap into who you truly are, there's no space for that cannot exist. I worked with somebody yesterday, and she has a deep fear of death. And as I worked with her, we stayed really high up on the frequency scale. We had conversations about peace and unconditional love and trust and bliss. And her frequency, you could see her whole beingness start to light up and lighten up and sit up. And it's like she became highly participatory in the conversation about love. And then at a critical point, I asked her, go back to the fear. And she's like, there is no fear. Yay! Because when you are in the truth, all that other stuff that is man-made, fear-based, ego-based, it doesn't have a foothold. So the deal is stay in the high frequency, stay in love, stay in the dream, stay in the heart. The heart is really the pathway, because that's that frequency of love. But if you could expand that to unconditional love, you got something even better. So um I want to read this, and I probably all our listeners have heard this before, but I think it's good to revisit it, because it's profound in its teaching of who we are. And this is by Marianne Williamson. So what I want to do is invite everyone to just kind of get really still and to take a breath.
1 minute before we taking breath, we at the moment have couple people who are watching us live. Please, who is
wonderful.
watching us, you can interact with us. You can send messages on live chat, and you can interact with us. And Morganne actually can give advice from divine for you, especially for you. She can tap in your energy and give advice, especially for you. So please come on the chat and interact with us, and Morganne will answer your questions or whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I want to welcome those who have come on live. It's very special to be in the frequency of the live call. But I will tell you, this will be just as effective to all those who listen later. So for the moment, I won't be answering any questions, because I'd like for us to just take a moment and go within. As I read this. So what I want you to do, or I invite you to do, you can do what you want, is to just take a moment and just take a deep breath in. And bring your energy inside you and let go. Let that breath go. And I also invite you to get your feet grounded on the floor, so that you can be really aware of you being present, very present in your body. And this body I call your temple. You'll often hear me refer to it as your body temple. And just take some beautiful, sweet breaths into that body temple, and into this temple, into the mind portion of the temple, into the emotional temple part of the temple, in the sacred part of the temple. We're going to hear these words. And so just invite you to honor your body temple, mind, body, heart, soul, being of yourself, and invite the words that I read to you into your temple. Take a breath in. And have your inner listening turned on. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And as we let our own light shine, we give other people permission to do the same. Take a breath in. Ask yourself, who am I to be brilliant? And just sit with that for a moment. Who am I to be brilliant? Who am I to be gorgeous? Who am I to be talented? And who am I to be fabulous? Inform your inner being. I am born to make manifest the glory of God that is within me. Take a breath in. I let my own light shine. That glory that is within me, I let that shine. And I invite you to just see yourself light up. And when we do this, we give other people permission and invitation to do the same. Take a breath in. Vision that light within you just growing as you leave the inadequacies behind. As you leave those fears behind, they are irrelevant. Those are man-made, fear-made, ego-made. Those are not powerful. Those are disempowering. So keep your focus on who you are, your authentic self, brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous, with that glory and that light of God shining in you. Take a beautiful breath in. Anchor that truth within every cell of your being and release your breath. Get back into your body and move back into this awareness with myself and Daiga. And just begin to notice and open your eyes and come present with me. Notice how your experience is different. Daiga, we'll pick on you since you're right here. in just doing that little exercise, how does that transform you?
It's like bring love and light in me in up direction, sort of like more like I even see like star of light coming out of me, shining out of me. Yeah. So
Yeah, you become more expansive.
Mm-hmm. Expanding wide, like this
Yeah.
beam of light.
Yes. Now imagine if we took that energy before we go out into the world and we fully become that authentic self of who we are, fully and completely. And we go out into our world. We move into our world with that consciousness, that awareness, and know that everyone out there has the same capacity as we do. They may not be exercising it because there may be those fears or those shames or those whatever is going on in their lives. But when we go out into our world, that's when we truly make a difference in our world. That's when we're bringing love and light, true love, unconditional love to everyone we meet. We bring light. We be the candle in the darkness. You know, sometimes just a beautiful, authentic smile toward a person changes them. I've seen it happen many times. I make a great practice of going out and beaming myself into others. I think it's so important that not that we keep that awareness and that consciousness within ourselves, but we share it out in the world. And there's a word called entrainment. I love entrainment. Entrainment is when we become that, and then someone else becomes that, and someone else becomes, and then pretty soon there's a whole bunch of people that are shining their love and their light. Now, that's what's great about doing global meditations and agreed upon time where two or more are gathered, because it ramps up that. It doesn't just double it or triple it. It's exponential in its effect upon the world. And I truly believe that when we are all living from our authentic selves, then we have that capacity to affect our world in very beautiful and positive ways. I want to go to reality too. So we as light workers and spiritual beings and ministers and counselors and people who are here to assist, we also have earth experiences, 3D experiences. So what do you do when you have an experience that comes back to you that isn't reflecting back love or light? And what you do with that is you bring that within, and you give thanks that it's shown up for you, and then you begin to speak truth into it, that whatever that is not the truth, that is a three-dimensional manifestation of maybe somebody's agenda for you, or whatever's going on in the world. We'll take, a lot of people get frustrated around flow of money. And that's an interesting one, because we're told that we absolutely need this in order to survive, right? And because we're here and incarnated in a three-dimensional world, we need to operate within the three-dimensional world, because that's what we have an agreement here, right? But what if you invite the divine into that? What if you invite the infinite into that? What if you invite the truth into the situation and transform that situation into one of truth? So these are the things I really wanted to chat about today, is living from that authenticity, not just within yourself, where you're in your own cave or your own home or whatever, where it's all nice, safe, and, and cozy, but are you willing to go out into the world and share those smiles, share your heart, share your consciousness? I can't tell you how many people I meet, like when I go to the grocery store, I'm always smiling at people. And I remember during we have something called a Costco here, which is one of those big, massive box stores where you can buy anything, right? And I had to go there. It's not my favorite place to go, but it's a perfect environment to go shed your light. Okay. So this was during the days of the mask mandates. So everybody, if you wanted to go into Costco, you had to have a mask on. And that's half why I didn't want to go into Costco, because I didn't want to wear that thing. So I did my business. And that's the thing, when you have a mask on, you can't see people smiling. It just is not there. So you have to really connect with your eye.
Not only see smiling, but you actually, after they take it off, you don't even recognize. I had experience when I was seeing one person with this on, all the time, never seen without, And one day this person came on the street and say hello to me, and I didn't recognize
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
half of face I just can't see.
Right.
So I was in my imagination, the bottom part of face was sort of different for me.
Yeah,
I
it
wasn't
is.
expecting those eyes with this bottom part. It's so very, very strange. It was really strange experience that I cannot recognize
Yep.
without.
Yep. Yep. Well, on this day, I had just left, and so immediately I pull that thing off, and I got the biggest smile on my face. The sky is beautiful. I can breathe fresh air. I'm just so I got what I needed. I accomplished what I needed to do, and I pull that mask off, and coming toward me is one of the guys that collects all the carts, right? So he's got a big train of carts he's wheeling back, and he just like looks at me. He said, that smile has made my day. That smile has made my day. You know, I and that's just the light that's coming from within me. That's just the love that I'm committed to experiencing and accessing. He felt that, he experienced that, it made his day. But what if I had to come out masked and just do my thing and get to my car? He wouldn't have got to have that experience of something, that smile making his day. And I'll tell you, there have been times when I've gotten a smile out in the world and it made my day. It just absolutely made my day. And so that smile, what is that smile? It's communicating something, right? It's a high communication of, I'm at peace in my body. I'm in acceptance of who I am. I'm just being present here. I love, all of that is communicated in a smile. So these are things that we can do to be authentic, not only in and within our own little body temple here, but to share that out in the world. So that's what I came to share today. And have you got questions, Daiga? Do our listeners have any?
I those two who are listening at the moment live don't give me any comments, so I don't have, but I still wait for comments. So guys, if you want a message from Divine just for yourself, please comment, and Morgan will tap in and give you messages. Take this opportunity to actually get this wisdom from Morgan. So yeah, I don't know. I think many people at this point is struggling with this 3D world. You have to pay bills. You have to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. So uh, this money and finances to to not to get enough, and not be able to stay in where you want and do what you want, just because you have to do something else where you can make money to pay bills. It's like 3D world. You have
Mm-hmm.
to do those things. So maybe something to make easy, maybe you can advise, or you give meditation to something for people to make easy this and smooth this transition for abundance to mindset from lack and going to abundance, especially when
Right.
now new year started and we maybe managed to get rid of our luck in the past and get abundance in the future.
Well, abundance is present now. We're not gonna, I'm not gonna play the game of it's in the future, because that's a game. Um, we are in the presence now. If someone is having lack in their life, then they're entertaining, I don't have, there's not enough. Where will I get, so they're already, that's the focus that they're having on themselves in their thinking nature. They let the world reflect to them what they should be thinking or feeling. When someone's having lack in their lives, they're focusing on, I don't have enough. So, what would be the cure for that?
I have enough. I
There's
have
always,
more than enough.
I have more than enough. And why? Because you live in an infinite. Let's go back. Infinite. Do you know what that word is? Infinite. Infinite
And,
universe.
and we have first comment. Thank you for reminding me about Marianne Williamson's words of truth.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. And she's tapped in to who she authentically is. And she had courage to write those words, to say, and invite us all to go deeper. So, do you think that she entertains lack and limitation? Probably not. She's in communication and in relationship with the infinite, and the infinite will feed back to her. It will always feed back to her the evidence of her infinite self, of all that she is. So when you are focused on the eternal, the infinite, the love, your whole life is taken care of. Every bit of it. Everybody that is to come into your life comes. Monies that you need to do certain things, it just comes. It's not, oh, I got to go find it. I got to go look for some more. I need to go find another job. It's like, why don't you ask and affirm within yourself, I'm rightly led to an infinite source of flow. Begin to affirm those things. And that's really the only way you're going to be able to turn that around. Remember, I said before, a woman was, she was, her fear was, it was like so dominant in her, was the fear of death. Like you could feel it, like she had invited death in to move into her mind and her heart and her body. She had invited it in, and now she's afraid of it, right? I'm so afraid. So all she's doing is feeding it, right? So it could be the same thing, a fear of not enough. Here it is. Oh no, fear of not enough. And then what you're doing is you're giving it the words and the emotions and the energy. So the universe can only say, okay, not enough. Okay, not enough. The universe will always respond every time. So if people want more flow in their life, in what we call abundance shows up in all kinds of ways, not just in dollars, or but it can show up in all kinds of beautiful ways that you have no idea where that's going to lead you and how that's going to expand you into more. Too many people put their attention on the monetary aspect, when they should be putting their attention on the currency, right? The currency, the flow of goodness constantly coming in, never ending. It's always there. It's not, there's not a shut-off valve up in up in the sky or up in heaven. It's always flowing, and there's always more, and always more than enough. So Daiga, it's really about placing your energy there and not giving any energy to, because like the lady that I worked with yesterday, as we began to talk about the higher frequency aspects of her being, as we began to unpack all of that, it's like fear had no place to grip. There was the frequency of it, the vibration of it really just kind of melted away because there's no place to put it. There's no entertainment on it. There's no energy on it. When we put our energy on the infinite flow of spirit into our lives, the infinite flow of spirit just comes into our lives. So I don't think that requires a meditation. I think we've done meditations on that before. I'd say go back and listen to what I did with Marianne Williamson. Go back into, who am I to be brilliant? Who am I to be brilliant? What is brilliant? That means you're connected to knowingness, to source. When my grandson, I can't even remember what I said, but it was something like we were talking about how people change, and how let me go back to it because it was precious. And I said, yeah, people try on this kind of way of being, they try on that kind of way of being until they find a place where it feels comfortable within them, and that's how they are. And he said, Grandma, that was really brilliant. And I just like, yes, it was. Thank you for noticing. Right. But that comes out of, truth. It's like that, we try these things on. So who are you to be brilliant? Well, be brilliant. Just be brilliant. Go in and trust the messages that come to you. People want to know, when I'm working with them in sessions, how do you know this? How do you I go, because I tap into the to the all, and I let that express through me truth. That's all people are looking for, truth. They want truth. When you tap into the truth and the love and the infiniteness, it's not a worry about money and all of that mundane. And yes, we need that to live in the 3D world. So invite it in, invite money in, and be thankful for it, every bit of it. If you see a penny on the road, pick it up. It's the evidence of flow in the universe. And so it's how you are with it. Does that answer your question?
I think so, yeah. I think so. And Anne, maybe if you want Morgan to tap in your self and get messages from you, just ask. Morgan will do it for you. So just ask. Or I can ask her for you. I know who you are. You are Anne, who is watching now with us. Maybe Morgan, you can tap in, and there will maybe come some message.
I have a habit of asking permission first. I think that's important. Maybe they're not ready. I've already given a big chunk. Let's just go back and kind of reiterate here. Authenticity. Who are you? Spend time with that. Who am I? I am. And we look at those words, I am, the two most powerful words that could ever come out of this. But these words will come out of a consciousness that is sick and fear-based. When those words come out, the words will look like, I am broke, I am frustrated, I am poor, I am blah, 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 blah. Wrong use of the infinite, right? That's your sacred self name. And then the universe will give that back to you, because the universe only says yes. out of your authenticity of I am love, I am beautiful, I am talented, I am brilliant. When you start remembering and awakening that self of you, that authentic self of you, and you start saying I am, those words come back to you as well in form. They come back in form. So I would say go back and spend time with your authentic self. And if you have fear, spend time in those higher frequencies. Entertain, well, what is love? Show me love. Show me peace. Um, you know, go and look at these things. We spend too much time, humans do. I don't, because I gave that up a long time ago, aligning myself with social media or fear-based experiences. I just don't, it's just not invited into my realm here. Um, this is sacred. And I want to be that sacred self, that be the light in the world, right? So I would invite everyone to spend these beginning days of this year 2023, maybe think about, if you chose to stay in your authentic self, what would the end of the year look like? And spend a little time, if you are um, spreading that consciousness of love, light, prosperity, infinite nature in your world, what's possible at the end of the year? What do you think, Daiga? What's possible?
What else is possible?
Yeah,
What
what else
else
is
is
possible?
possible?
Right. So I began to look at, you know, I often will ask for, oh, well, prove it, prove it, source, prove it. So things like, I'll go back to Costco again, not my favorite place to go to because it's crowded, lots of cars. And um, again, it's just, all right, how can I show up authentically in this, right? Rather than oh, I don't want to deal with that. How can I show up authentically in that? And I can show up authentically by knowing I'm fully supported in that whole trip. No attention on how many cars there are or finding a parking spot. I know that my right and perfect parking spot is waiting for me, just waiting for me. So this one morning, I had to go to Costco again. I go, okay, if I got to go, then I want the best parking spot in the whole lot. I want the best. Okay. That's pretty courageous to ask for the best. So I drive there, and I'm driving, and there's many places you can turn to turn in to find parking. And I just waited. I heard, turn here, turn left. So I turn left, and I go, okay. And then traffic just kind of slowed down. And then I heard, wait, wait. And then the cars started moving again, and I heard, turn left. I got the first parking spot in front of the store, the first parking spot. And I just laughed. It's even that was just such a precious gift. It was like the universe will always respond to what you want
I
and what you want.
I actually, when I started all manifestation, when I first started, and I start to understand what it actually means, I, for fun, I drive home and I ask for all traffic lights to be green. Yeah, or like you, parking spot, that's constantly. I always have good parking spot even in crowded places. Yeah. And
Yep.
also, when I'm going out, let's say somewhere I need to go to work out or have to go somewhere, yeah, I always ask to be dry, going there and dry back, yeah, to not get wet and socky and I every single time that's happening,
Yep.
every single time.
Every single time. That's right. You know,
And
and I'll go back to even physical stuff. You know what? Not even 2 months ago, I had what could have been a really terrible accident with my eye, where grapefruit seed extract got in and it literally burned the cornea. And I had to go attend to this in the outside world. And so I did. And I heard what medical staff were feeding back to me about how bad it was, right? Their whole model of this is really bad. And I went to see my, I have dedicated eye doctors because I have had these beautiful eye issues that's forced me to go within so much um, that have presented. And so I went to my eye doctor and he looked at it. He goes, "This is really, really bad." He goes, "I'm afraid you're going to lose your cornea." And like all the staff was like nodding in agreement. "Oh, yeah, you're going to lose your cornea." And I go, "I am not. I am not going to lose that. That's not even true." I go, "There's a power and a presence within me that's healing my eye right now." I said, "And you're going to be the instrument of that healing through your hands and your mind and your skills. You're going to assist this healing to happen." 1 week later, I go back. What's going on? The cornea is repairing itself. It's repairing itself. Where there was no light coming in, where there was no shapes coming in, now there's light and there's shapes. And I asked, "Continue to hold me. This is healing." Go back a week later, they're all like, "Oh my God, this is like a miracle. How can this?" And go, "We're going to keep praying because I want full restoration of my eye." Why do I want that? Because that's the promise. I'm a whole, complete, whole being. And why wouldn't my eye heal perfectly? Because there's a divine intelligence in my eye that knows how to heal itself. Now, if I had bought into that, "Oh my God, you're going to lose your cornea, blah, 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 blah," I had lost my cornea. But I don't choose to focus on what is untruth. The truth is the healing presence of God lives in my eye and it is restoring it now. And today I can read with that eye. It's perfect. It's gone back to being a beautiful cornea. And this is less than 2 months into this whole thing. And so, was it unfortunate that I burned my cornea? Yeah, that kind of sucked. But the beauty of it is that I remembered what the truth was so that the truth could be revealed. And it's just, that's the same way it is with my eye or your finances or your health or whatever. It's the same truth when you go down the path of holding it as irreparable or broken or whatever, then, and so it is. That's the way it is. But if you go and you hold the truth, the absolute truth, the God truth, then that can show up too. So it's a matter of where you put your attention and your focus, because that attention and that focus is what's going to lead you and come back and reflect to you your consciousness. So if you're having troubles in your life, just realize that is you're being reflected back what has been going on in your consciousness. And the good news is you can change that. At any moment, you can change your consciousness. You have the power and the ability to do that. So I invite everyone as we conclude our show today to just spend time, go back and listen to that snippet of that little meditation I did earlier rather than at the end. Go back and listen to that and drop down into your talented, drop down into your beauty, drop down into your infiniteness, drop down into that and make a home there, cultivate it, nurture it. And then most importantly, take that out into the world and share that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Also, I want today talk about your upcoming course.
Oh, yes.
Please
Yes.
remind everybody about your upcoming course.
Yes. On Sunday mornings here Pacific time at 9 a.m. I'm going to teach a 3-month.
That's UK time, GMT time, I think is 5 o'clock
p.m.
evening.
Yeah.
5
And I made
p.m.,
it.
yeah.
I made it that time. So all of you who are on the other side of the pond can join us, because I think that's really important to bring this message where we are expanding our consciousness. So the course I'm teaching is named the 12 Principles of A Course in Miracles. I love the course. It's a course in miracles. It's not the course in miracles. It's a course in miracles. And I think that distinction is really important. It really will show you where you have been placing your attention on your ego or you have been placing your attention on the divine. And the course is designed in a way to help you expose that, but also exercise those divine muscles to stay in truth, to look at where the traps are for you that pull you back down into the ego or into those lower realms of being. So I'm really looking forward to Sunday will be an overview of what the course will be. And then we'll begin with the first principle. And then we will meet every Sunday until we're complete. So that's about 3 months. I think it takes us to the end of March. So it's a beautiful way to begin our year.
It's brilliant. I can't even wait. Uh, how they can get in touch with you if any of our viewers want to get on a course, how they can get in touch with you.
Good
And
question.
another thing, if somebody pick up this message from us later on, like week or 2 weeks later, will they be able to catch up in a course, or if you're not from start, you can't?
Right. No, it's going to always be recorded. So if not everybody will have every Sunday available to do this. So if you send me an email, and you can do that by going to my website, which is www.IamSourced.net. IamSourced.
I'm absolutely sure on description there is on YouTube. Those who is watching Facebook and Twitter, please go on YouTube, find DCT channel on YouTube, and there is description, and all contact details for Morganne is in description.
Right. So if you go to my website, there's a button at the top that says click to send an email. And that will give you my email address, which is IamSourced@gmail.com. And, you look at what I put out there. I am sourced. I am sourced. I've been using that for many years now. And it's kind of like it's my brand. It's who I am. I know I am sourced, but I want everyone else to know you are sourced too. So I invite you, if you'd like to participate in the 12 Principles of A Course in Miracles, you are so invited to join us. And but send me an email so I can get you the links to the class and to the recordings.
I will be there, so you can send me links. I
Okay.
will be
Perfect. I love it. I
I
love it.
will be there in first row, sitting and waiting.
Beautiful. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's in the 8 for today, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody who is watching us and who will be watching us. And if you like our show, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because more information and good wisdom is coming on my channel. Also, if this is first show, which one you see with Morgan and I, please go back, because we have started new year with first show in new year. That's 21st show. All last year we done 20 shows already. So every show has very, very good wisdom from divine, plus meditation on the end of the shows. Go back, look back. This wisdom is not going to just be unnecessary. It's necessary for everyone and helping you everyone every day and for years and years to come. So it's not going to get old in time.
No.
So yeah, thank you very much everybody for watching from our hearts to yours. God bless.